Recording is on.
You hear that part there?
Yeah.
That's my one. So your one that say nothing when you start.
Oh,
Yeah, but
okay.
that's mine. But you can do it too, just in case we lose the file.
All right.
Yeah, Sean, you can start.
I'm being recorded.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So this is a very topic for anybody who is in Commonwealth, Caribbean. And it's for the reason that they don't even know what constitutional law mean. In the sense that look at who are the people who have this discussion. Guyana and Grenada.
Guyana, Barbados, Dominica, and Trinidad.
Say for Barbados, everybody that's a pro country are countries who not have no understanding or appreciation of constitutional rights. Let's give the context of Latin America and the Caribbean. North America. We're not going to put it in the comparison of Dubai, Iran, and we're talking about here, the Western world, and the standard of the Jamaica is the poorest of all of them. And then you have Guyana. And the human rights is very poor for Guyana. Guyana is like the oldest republic. Haiti was the first one to get into a black country. All these countries and the human rights and the civil rights they have are very weak. But that's not what CCJ is aiming to achieve. Caribbean Court of Justice is trying to mimic or reflect the Europe. The European Union is very civilized. The European Union is like, you see how US impose themselves on the Union and they're like, no, we'll not allow US and them have a well-developed system. You have to take that angle there and look. So the death penalty still exists in Jamaica. That exists in the European Union. Or even if it's there, Europe can allow you to do it. And you go back to the framework. Jamaica society believes in a police military state. The only place that talk about state of emergency declared ongoing for years. So you can't put that in the constitutional frameworks. LGBT, gay rights, Cuba moving up from Cuba allow people for Latin America, everywhere in Latin America, but the rest of the Caribbean, they know. In human rights, refugees, Jamaica don't want to eat Asian Jamaica. Trinidad don't want to Venezuela go there. So as a bloc, with a far behind human rights position or any constitution for anybody. To ask the CCJ to be the savior, because that's what you're going to do, seeking to break away from, or the queen. You ask CCJ to be the final court or the savior for this thing. The Caribbean single market can't align itself, and it's dangerous to the revised treaty. The revised treaty program was trying to make an economic block for people trade. And what Shanique Mary showed it, the Shanique Mary went to go Barbados and they might try to block her from Barbados and Jamaica. It showed that human rights go with business. Because I can't buy your goods. I can't be buying your goods, but I don't care about your citizens. It's the same thing with the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Russia and Ukraine saying, okay, I'm bombing Ukraine beyond recognition. Russia is saying, but you're taking my. So how can you take my direct or indirect about you have to talk about me can't bomb? Human rights go have constitutional provisions and business. And the CSME how it trod that line in the revised treaty. Because Shanique Mary say human rights or any constitutional rights go with trade. They can't have Barbados, which is one of the richest one in the capital, who signs on to the being liberal and free and allowing same-sex union, non-crime rate, safe. It's a safe place. Industrial, make money, banking sector. Barbados have everything I want. You can't have them being at the seat of CCJ with Trinidad with them. And Trinidad is literally where the CCJ sits. And then you have backward societies like Jamaica, Haiti, Guyana, in at the same spot. Inconsistent. The values are not, they are not aligned. or else we are going to pick up the you have. The EU are trying to get rid of try balance when it none of. So Jamaica no instead of reform, them are in a problem because Jamaica break away from UK and trying to set, but CCJ I feel careful. What was the same in the 19? When was it? When was it? When Jamaica said when Trinidad 1-0.
1964, I think. 1960. That's one time we gained independence. 1962.
You said that
Yeah.
Yeah, but Jamaica dominant player with the large recognition. Everything they carry. It just inserts itself in this as a final court. Jamaica with a human rights crisis, where Jamaica is a failed state as it stands. We can't even govern the people. You know, minister framework is what we need to be. Likewise, if you take Cuba and say Cuba could be a part of it, it's too problematic.
Mm-hmm.
Is there and then look at Guyana was the first Guyana. Guyana has a terrible human rights record.
Guyana has what?
A terrible human rights record. Guyana is not like the best human rights. They have the whole with the Indians and the where them are in fact when election like is that they have voted for black. And they are the first. The University of Guyana is doing well for itself. To the point where people go UA after them study at the University of Guyana. Because I don't know if but Guyana was supposed to have UA. And them said no, them are at the University of Guyana. And then it's a struggle international. It's nowhere where it is. Because there's then go to UA or study again. When all they had to do was join, because they're a regional, they was just join up to UA. So people after they study still have to go study this and back at Trinidad, Jamaica. So Guyana is known in anything carry. Them poor, just like Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
Them not have nothing to do, but they are the ones who get independence. So they were the become a republic after Haiti. So you can't say Guyana where the standard bearer, like you can't say Jamaica. And countries like Cayman Islands, BVI, Antigua, Puerto Rico, US Virgin Islands, all St. Martin, all well, way better than these so-called independent people. And when you look at the human rights index, trading, the path, everything about these countries and everybody will actually nonsense. It's like a bullshit. It's like you play your own shit. That's what the constitutional frameworks look like, or even as a trade. You have an Antigua passport, you go anywhere. Cayman passport, which other one? Barbados passport, Bahamas. Bahamas, you go anywhere in the world, they just book your ticket. But these who are trying to create something, nobody recognizes them. You can't jump on a Haiti passport or a Jamaican passport or a Guyana passport.
Well, you see, I go to NIC.
It's just the other day get access to go to UK without passport. Everybody else in the Caribbean could have got UK without passport. And the US. Cayman Islands, you get ticket and you fly got US. So the index, the trading and the bet are low for all these people who are talking about CCJ. Cayman part of the UK. US Virgin Islands, yes. Puerto Rico still a part of the US. Bermuda still a part of the US. Bahamas, to me, as far as me concerned, Bahamas still a part of the US.
So what is the solution to all these problems, so-called? What should be the measures or the approach you take to start actually with the most afflicting countries like a Jamaica and a Haiti and a
Guyana.
Guyana?
Guyana is already a part.
How do you start with reforming the current system to have it produce and operate as the current succeeding unions across the world, like the United States and the European Union?
I think you have to fix yourself first. Because that's what Barbados did. That's what Trinidad is doing. Bahamas, you have to fix yourself.
By doing what?
So, all right, look at Barbados. Perfect example. Mia Marley is an inspirational and phenomenal woman. She look into her country and see how she can, before she bring Barbados to her public, she never just get up overnight and turn Barbados into her. She look into and she fix the social infrastructure. She ensure that our society, them ensure that Barbados is the financial capital of the Caribbean. So them invest, make sure the investors start coming. The Barbados, they move from the law school, them engineering, them get medicine, them build Barbados self-sufficient. And then build the brand. Then them start make moves. Barbados never just get up before we're powerful. Them peg them dollar to the US and fix them economy. Cayman Islands, them stay with the UK. Them whatever Cayman had to them they reach. And even when Cayman Cayman joined CARICOM, Cayman said no. Cayman too wealthy, Cayman not gonna give up certain things to give up to join CARICOM. Bahamas did it in a limited capacity. So you have to fix your industry, fix your economy first before you talk about because nobody wants to be a part of the thinking ship. And all of the cities like bungle up together about them one farm. You understand what I'm saying?
Currently, the country is in a state where people who are benefiting of Jamaica's crisis phenomenally is not going to allow you to interrupt their profit just to fix the current state of the country. What measures could we take to circumnavigate these current people who are benefiting of the current state of Jamaica so we can fix the country?
I look at Jamaica and I come to Guyana and Trinidad. All of the people them come back Trinidad and Guyana, they're already a republic. And you compare them to Jamaica and you realize that look why Trinidad get broke. Trinidad was supposed to be the richest one out of all. Corruption. Them have oil. There's no way to trade the oil without problem. Them actually stop trading in oil, right? Because war broke out over all the corruption is. Same thing with Guyana. Guyana have oil like Trinidad. They can't sell it because war. Few are gonna run off with the money. Same thing we see with Jamaica and the boxer. You have to fix yourself. And fix yourself is political will. Who are there and try form a conglomerate of corrupt people. A nasty, dirty conglomerate of corrupt people with values to reach somewhere. They would even mind Haiti join. Haiti is in a what you call now. Haiti just don't make sense right now. And they would tell Haiti to come and join this group of other people who don't make sense. First
how have previous states like these in this corruptive situation, current
What
state,
have they done?
what have they done to illustrate to us that, for one, we can take these similar measures to rid the state of corruption, which will then evolve into a more world-class operating country?
Well, Iran, you see what Iran is doing now? They have a revolution.
Yes.
The reality is, Alden, to reach where Barbados reach. Well, Barbados is an exception. Bahamas and Barbados, they're exceptional. They wanted it. So Barbados and Bahamas and Cayman, those people want. If you go Cayman, have you been to Cayman?
No, never been.
If you go to Cayman, you realize they naturally and inherently want to reach somewhere. Caymanians don't leave Cayman.
When you said they want to reach somewhere, are you talking about
The ordinary
government, or are you talking about the citizens?
The ordinary citizen. The ordinary person from
So
Cayman.
it literally boils down to the mindset of the citizens. That's what you're stating.
Yes.
But you clearly know it's a Jamaican bad, and well, not all Jamaicans are bad, but we purport to ourselves in a way as if the whole are way bad. It's we don't necessarily mean it, because it's a small minority of Jamaicans that are pretty violent. In comparison, you know what I mean? The
But not only
majority of
that,
Jamaicans are peaceful, but we kind of find our identity in the rude boy culture mindset. We love to come a foreign, we love to go up on TV, we love to orchestrate in our music, so we are bad boy. It's kind of what we have evolved, the image we have evolved and come to like purport ourselves and display ourselves as to the entire world, and that is what we are being seen as and recognized, and we kind of gain some respect from that. So the culture is at that level. How is it that we?
Hold on. No. It's not respect.
Yeah,
Let me show you why
yeah,
it's not.
yeah.
I was sharing with Kaydian last night, and it's every interview I use it. Every interview. The moment I tell an employer, I say, look, if you doubt if I'm gonna work, I will work for you no matter what, because I'm coming from a destabilized society. I'm marginalized. I'm being persecuted. So even if it's minimum wage pay, I'm willing to work.
Yes.
Or it's Jamaica, yeah man. Jamaica work hard because no matter what, when you build a life here and then go back home with the money. Come work. Me give all the shifts. All the shifts are open for you. So the perception is because we're poor and the situation is so horrible back home, every Jamaican they have met, employers tell me, every Jamaican them come across work hard. And it's a known fact that Jamaicans save up their money and go back home. The whole
I think that because we're poor, we think that is us naturally who we
I think
are.
that's our mindset. Yes, I think we
no,
have
it's
a
a complete
competitive mindset. Jamaicans have the
Yes,
competitive
we
mindset
do.
where your house can bigger than mine. Me, I forgot far and go
That's
make sure
right.
mine big too.
no.
It's not
Yes,
about poor. I
It is
don't think Jamaica is poor at all. In
not about poor.
comparison, Jamaica
agree.
is not nowhere near the poorest countries in the world. I
Me
can
disagree.
promise you that.
Me
You
disagree.
can.
That's
I'm
a
sure
fact.
you probably
It's a
disagree,
fact.
but if you research it, you will see for yourself that we are not poor. I can
It's a
promise
fact.
you that.
It's a
Huh?
fact. The expatriates or workers who come from poor country earn way more than other people. And where the money go? Back into their home countries. Poor countries, workers, migrant workers, it's Qatar. You see it in Qatar. You see it in the UAE. You see it in China. Expats from poor country earn way more than other workers. And the money goes right back. That's why poverty is one of the reasons they don't want workers from poor country. The money don't stay in the country. Them come and them do 16, 18, 20-hour shifts. They do long shifts. And the money go right back home. Poor countries, them earn way more than everybody else, and the money go back at the yard.
So what did I say of the situation of the Chinese in Jamaica, where them open up these big lavish houses and all of the money going right back to China?
Perfect example of the poor Chinese are the poor Chinese from poor provinces. And the one them from Beijing and Shanghai, you see. And the one them from the poor, just like India. Once you take them from the poorest section, another Mumbai and the Punjab region, you see. And the poorest Indians come the low class caste, and I'm telling you, they send all the money go back to India.
But I don't know.
It's
Yeah.
factual.
Well. The we can admit that Jamaican educational system is not the worst.
Yep.
Hold on.
We can agree that Jamaica is smacking an economically advantageous position. We're right beneath the United States, right?
Hold on. I know I interpret you, but
Yes.
framing is very important. And we frame things without context. And we frame it and think it's a brand or a good thing. I've seen people from Amsterdam, Australia, Ireland, so-called countries where in a better position. They have workers who automatically just book a ticket and can come to Canada and work for 6 months. For them, yes, they're gonna work, but the bare minimum. And when they come, they spend. Even the Chinese from wealthy area, China and India, them come, them do them look at driving and them look at delivery and them take the work and then spend the money and then enjoy. Because when they go back to Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, anywhere they're going, they don't need the money. Them already have houses in China, them own a house in Canada already. Them own a house in Canada where them not pay
And your
taxes. So,
point is to say what?
Because we're poor, so that's
analogy.
why we work harder.
When you're poor, you have to work hard. You need the money for go back. You have to work longer shifts. You want to build a house.
Yeah, and in a sense, what does that do? How does that affect the current state of the Jamaican economy?
It affects it massively. Your best and most talented people leaving your economy, going across, producing elsewhere, and sending what left come back. The houses that they're supposed to earn here. So if a
Yes.
Jamaican come and work, the house that them supposed to earn here and buy here and whatever, versus when them come back and use what left.
But in essence, when someone does that, they are sending money back home, remittances to help those who are back home, their family member, immediate family member, to ensure that they get the best of things. Usually the best of housing, the best of education. We're saying now, from that aspect, where there's constant migration of the best minds who are going overseas to overproduce because they're overworking and then sending back those resources back home to help those who are home. Why is it that we are not seeing those who are benefiting from these great minds who are overseas and using those resources that they are receiving back in the country to improve the country?
We see
That's
right in
the cultural mindset.
the Caribbean, Aldan. Because Barbadians and Caymanians are not leaving and see where they live elsewhere. These economies can grow. Cayman, if they want a banker, they have a banker there. If they want a lawyer, they have them there. Because their Cayman and Bahamas and Barbados can retain their talents. Their economies can be powerful when you look at the GDP income per capita, the income per person. So they don't need nobody to say anything back.
But for retaining these great minds too, you have to have the job, right? And we established that those people who are at the top, who are corrupted, is not reinvesting in Jamaica because they make their money through corruption. They're going to secure their funds offshore in the Cayman Islands, in Switzerland, and in America. They're going to buy up real estates overseas because they already know that the means by which they're deducing Jamaican resources is illegal. So they know that it is bound for a crash eventually. So they're not retaining their resources. Everybody come in, scrape, and leave because it's not a safe place. How you fix that?
All right, so here again, I'm saying you don't need to look outside the Caribbean. So if I was from Bahamas and I can stay there as an attorney, do business, I'm an advocate, I'm doing a lot of work in the Bahamas, I can build that economy. I can say, no, this is foolishness. I'm not change it. Somebody like me from Jamaica with corruption and problem and everything, me just say, I'm gone. I'm gone to Canada. So when I see something in Canada, no matter how bad it is, I'm educated, I'm progressive, I'm Canadian educated, Jamaican educated. As I see bullshit in Canada, I'm going to speak out on it. I said, this need for change. No, stop this right now, it need for change. If I was in Jamaica, I would have more impact on the Jamaican society because I'm a trained legal mind, I am an educator, I'm whatever skill I bring to the table, I'm in Jamaica. Being overseas, working and doing everything, developing that economy, I am not shaping Jamaica. I'm busy building Canada.
The
So
obvious point is we cannot retain you against will in Jamaica. So that is not a solution.
You ask, Aldan. You ask how you fix it going forward, and I'm saying
Yes.
look at how the others do it. Barbados, Cayman, Bahamas, everybody that's progressing. Look at how they build their.
Yes, they retain their minds. They don't have a brain drain system like Jamaica. Understood. But I'm saying clearly because of the economical status and the value of the quality of life that Jamaicans currently think that they deserve, they're leaving to go seek it elsewhere because the gates that are alluring them to leave are open and willing to take them, right?
Mhm.
So I am saying to you now, the element that is forcing Jamaicans to take those opportunities that are being presented to them, right, inside the country, the ones who are destroying the country and forcing the great minds out. How do you stop that leak? We understand that the leaking is happening, but clearly we're not going to stop the history and the actual way in which Jamaicans have operated for years, which is to leave, right? How you incorporate that leaving, resources that is coming in, and the people who are there who are forcing the people out. How do you switch that thing around to make it advantageous to Jamaica's development?
So in this context, we're talking about Jamaica. We're not talking about the wide question that you have, specifically Jamaica.
Yes.
Because Jamaica is different from Guyana, and Trinidad, different economies. Where Jamaica is concerned, it would require the diaspora. Yeah, the Prime Minister get up and said diaspora must fight crime because the diaspora know who send back money, who ship the gun, where.
Facts. He's incorporating those who are overseas. See what I'm trying to say? But yes, go ahead. Sorry to interrupt you.
For the context of Jamaica, where you're talented, the decision makers, the powerful people, you have to. So, for example, perfect example in this case, I'm an attorney. I'm a very active Jamaican attorney. I'm active with the Law Society. I'm active with doing business. People like me, I have to keep them engaged. Speaking out on issues, say, no, 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 that have to stop there. This is the thing, policymakers like me who get voters, run up and down, Kaydian who know real estate, who is very talented in real estate, and she's there. You have to get people who influential and who have an impact overseas to come back because they get talent. Everybody, if it's not engaged, you won't move forward. It can't be the one when they have a couple of CXC. We can't, not to put anybody down.
No. You're right. Stay on the part. We don't care about who is down. Them, we don't have time for mercy for them people. You're right.
Not to say you're putting them down, but it can't be them who don't know what a free society look like. And I'm going to bring a sad point that was argued here the other day with what's it called again? The Buggery laws.
Mm-hmm.
One woman must get up and say Jamaican man don't like eat pum pum.
Mm-hmm.
And it caused a big frenzy upon Twitter. And they say, lie them I tell me, I tell her it go. And then when the woman them start talking about the whole of them man eat them pum pum, big Twitter what about now? About Twitter. So this circumvent.
Clean up your face.
Not
you.
Right, I was saying this circumvent, it crossed barriers. It crossed local people who are in Jamaica, and it crossed international. And the women were saying, I don't go that them do other things, and a big discussion occurred. And I'm not in Jamaica right now to see the impact. But when I say both people in the country and outside being engaged, that's what it requires.
And I would say from there that sounds like the solution that would definitely actually hint at certain development. Changing the constitution where you involve these
Yeah.
brain that have went overseas
Yes.
to play from remote areas, to
Yes.
be participants from remote areas. Our people are not lost once they have left the country.
Mm-hmm.
Is our constitution needs to be rewritten to involve the Jamaicans with mental capacity, mental talent, and have some level of contribution that can affect the development of the country. Our constitution needs to start extend. We should be the first to design something like that, involving our citizens, the diaspora that is outside the country, to still be able to stay from where whence they are and still impact or influence the operation of the country. But you have to you have to fit certain criterion to be in that um in that capacity, right? You have to be you fit certain criterion to be the kind of people who are then selected to have a say in the development and the operations of Jamaica. You have to have a particular first degree. You have
No,
to
I think everybody, all done. Everybody's supposed to have a say. Whether you're done, poor, educated, non-educated, everybody feel a say.
also we're looking for we can integrate
Well,
the say of
everybody have a point. It dance is relative to me.
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Relative. I think everybody have a point. So how do you, because and being intelligent is also relative. Because remember,
Yes.
being intelligent for us or being educated, it means that you're put inside a particular box. And it's perfect example this morning when I was
But
talking to Sean, when he gave me his presentation, I couldn't understand it. But you'd say I am intelligent and I am and not intelligent. I'm educated, but I just couldn't
Your
understand
sister,
it.
all done. And your sister, you help me work on it, you know it. And your sister just couldn't
Yeah,
figure it out.
But what I'm
that's what I'm
saying in
saying.
this sense, it's not in regards to the quality of anybody's education. We are here trying to seek our missing pieces. The people who we are, Jamaica is suffering from brain drain.
It's the main
We're not
problem.
suffering from
Talent.
migration.
Our talent.
Well,
Talent.
talent, brain drain,
Talent,
talent. We're
yeah.
not suffering from the process of migration. Jamaica is suffering in development because its brains is leaving. We need to focus firstly on having those brains still tethered to Jamaica from a distance. So at the moment, we need to build a system that is not going to be bombarded and overwhelming by
But the
including
brain don't
everyone.
necessarily mean here saloon, you know, Alden. What
I,
about here, so?
yes, but then we wouldn't have a brain drain if we are going to incorporate the dunce them where I left Jamaica. If them alone did I leave, then we wouldn't have a problem. Then would I would then
Yeah,
we're
but
not
I'm saying
judgmental
the
then.
brain is not just here. The brain is also here. The brain is also here. Here. In terms of skilled workers.
Yes. You have the
Yes.
skilled labor. Farmers,
Yes.
the Canada take and US take and England take.
Exactly.
I wouldn't call that brain.
The
We
truck
wouldn't have a
driver.
brain drain in
If
that
the
essence.
truck driver
People,
not the all done. If the truck
huh?
driver no man not the for cement and mix cement. You
Yes,
see
but
Canada.
those people are what you call indispensable. They can be replaced by what is currently there in Jamaica. We don't have a lack of those people.
No, I disagree.
We have a lack of truck drivers. We
I
have a
disagree.
lack of hockey pickers. We have a lack of farmers. No, we don't.
No. Let me tell you what happened in Jamaica. That same thing I was say, but we have a lot of judges. You have most 90% of who that Jamaica don't qualify for the job. So we give a man a license and say, yo, go drive. But even if I buy him by the license, he not qualify for the taxi. He not qualify for run taxi. But just go
Yeah,
run a
but
taxi.
what? Come on now. How much practice will it take for him to become qualified?
No, your man will drive for 5 years. I go Canada say, come. 5 years I drive, come, go on.
Yes,
Just like
Sean. But what I'm saying is the quality, not quantity, but the quality we have to focus on. A system that is designed to focus on quality can then later address everyone else. But if we try to bring everybody at one time,
I just believe by virtue of the fact that you're a citizen, you are entitled to some say, no care how minimal it is. I just think that something should be in place to just analyze these thought processes. That is what I believe. Because then you're creating this system again that presently exists. Like the poor not have no voice, them not have no say, the dunce not have nothing to say nor do.
the proletariat.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm not saying exclude them, but I'm saying start with the brain, with what we're losing.
Okay.
If you apply bus, you get what I'm saying? If you're running an organization and your board representatives, your executives are constantly coming and leaving, right? You're not going to worry about your staff that is ancillary to change the board. You get what I say? You're going to focus on the executive first and then you form an inclusive plan. So I'm saying we are suffering not because we have common people remaining in Jamaica. We are suffering because we have very highly skilled, intelligent people leaving Jamaica. So if we patch that or tether that, then we'll start having the resources, the human resources that we need to now change certain things in Jamaica. A link need to be made with these people so that we know so them can't go far. Because everybody leave Jamaica with an initial thought of helping Jamaica.
But that's one prong though. There are other prongs to it. So one prong is you keep it. The next prong is or you engage at it. The next prong is the environment, the business environment. It's like the word they call the pestel analysis. And here I guess this is where the question coming from the student. How you create the legal framework by looking at the Constitution. The Constitution.
That's what I was hinting at. We need to change the Constitution to involve the diaspora of Jamaica that we have lost, that is really a resource to the development of Jamaica. How we now change that Constitution to involve these people.
And again, it's not that alone it constitutes. So the issue again as well is why is it that non-Jamaicans or non-blacks, why white people have privilege in our black society? Why when the hotel money spent, the money from Marriott and Hilton don't go into the economy, but it stays in London and Miami. And other operational costs reach the Caribbean. Them the economic framework that have to go change. Because if me can't compete in Jamaica by being black, Me not go to business there. Me go stay in Canada and the US. Or go Africa or go somewhere else when we have a chance.
I guess it's the way how we sell or open our doors for business, Sean. Me coming from the United States, knowing that Jamaica is currently a failed state, as what you describe it as, not gonna invest my money. This is the operation of business. Apple don't keep all of the money them in every continent they operate. They move their money over to the United States. So is Amazon, so is all these big tech companies. It's a natural process of law. They do not keep their money in the countries that they operate, um, other than their registered company, because yes, they have to pay taxes in these countries, but they also have to pay taxes to the United States as
And
being
that's
a
why
registered company in the United States. So these hotels are
that
not
have a
Jamaican
advantage.
hotels. Huh?
That's why they shouldn't have a competitive advantage. A Milk Row hotel or a little no-name hotel, Rhythm and Spice or Jamaican whatever, should have a greater advantage in the business
Get what you're
environment
saying.
than Marriott
Mm,
than a
mm.
Chinese company. A China own the highway.
Take for example, simple Chinese get tax breaks, Jamaicans don't.
Mm-hmm. And
So
remember,
that
that
is
wider
that is
context.
the business advantage that he's talking
But,
about.
but we understand. We understand it. And it is simple because they want to allure investment. They have to
But Barbados
compete.
get investment.
No,
Bahamas
so
get
but we can invest too. We can
Cayman get
invest.
investment.
We are investing, but we are being crippled.
Yeah, but Munchi, we know, say, when you take up your $1 billion from Yasso as a black man and run go Jamaica go big hotel a pie in your face.
So that's why.
We know that. So
That's
and that's what I'm saying. The root of the problem is culture. We have to address that first.
all
We
right.
have
All right.
to
So let's
address certain other things before we start talking about
It's a lot of
contribution.
things to address at
we focus
once,
too
I
much.
believe.
We focus too much on Jamaica. So let's look at the wider context because we dig up Jamaica and rake it up. Let's go wider. Because
Yes.
again, I was showing in Barbados there's no firearm. A baton them use and run them boy and beat boy. That is not to say crime not there. In London, not going to that England. And knife them use and stab up people.
You know, sister,
Cannot,
Turks and Caicos just a fear implement, then they gun
You
something they
know,
can
yes.
Jamaica go on over, they go on bad.
there's not to say
Them
crime
never did have it.
Caribbean. Crime is in the economic block, but it's how you address it and what you put in place. Trinidad is violent. People kidnap you and rape you and murder you and whatever. But it's how Trinidad address it. Barbados
With all of what you just said, you have not showed me an example of a country who has legal firearm and the crime rate is high.
Well, Norway have it and it low. Legal
Yes.
firearm and the crime rate high.
Yes. Show me a country where they issue guns across for everyone legally and the crime rate is high. There is none.
A country where firearm is legal.
Yes. And the crime rate is high. There is none.
US.
No. The crime rate in US is not high in
Look on the murder
comparison.
people in that school.
That is occurrences. It doesn't mean the crime rate is high.
Nigeria, yeah, I've no listen. Too much. That is the rule. Versus
Nigeria now, yeah. Come on now. West, like we could deal with something where we easily can see which country in the Western Hemisphere guns are legal and the crime rate is crazy.
Mexico, Guatemala, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama.
They have legal weapon. No, they don't.
Mexico
They don't have legal weapon. They can't have legal. You don't have legal license. Guns are illegal in those countries. Every country where gun is illegal, the crime rate is high. I can promise you that. You need to have legal weapon. If you are come rob me, you do criminal law, so you must think like the criminal. If you are come rob me, and you know say me have me gun over them, a big bembe, are you gonna come to rob me?
I'm not gonna rob you. I'm gonna rob you, but I'm not gonna rob you like that. I'm gonna rob you and I'm gonna sell your gun and rob what you have by you.
Okay.
I'm not gonna rob you like that.
So you are Iron Man for walking in my house and know say me have a big thunder we can turn on. Me have the advantage. I have my back against the wall and I probably have 4 more sons. With
That's
them
not
big
how I'm gonna
guns.
rob you.
What are you
That's
gonna
not how
do?
I'm gonna rob you. You're a big fish for me. I'm gonna organize it properly.
Organize it, yes.
Me need
But
weapon to sell too.
in organize it, here comes cybercrime. Because
I
you
like
have
you
to go.
tell. I like Kaydian tell him about gang case and me do ya. Cause me don't know about all that.
Yeah, but
You
those
see,
are
you gone back down to that point there. You see, you have to go back down to that.
Tell him
easy.
no
It's
way man. I
easy.
like you
But
tell.
he's saying that if there's easy access to guns, the crime rate is lessened because a man got think twice before in come
Coming
do
on my
something.
ass.
I am tell Kaydian. I lie him tell you want. That want.
How
No,
so?
that
How
is
so, Sean?
because gun is illegal in Jamaica. That is what he's saying.
That is what I'm
But
saying.
it's illegal in Jamaica. You can't have a license for you have a firearms
Yes,
license.
but
It is very
it
hard.
is
So just try to say it
restricted. It
illegal.
is illegal,
It's
Sean.
not
That's what I'm
illegal.
saying. It
It's
is
not illegal.
restricted.
Look how much criminal adverse cases have gone in Jamaica.
Yeah,
What are you
because you
saying?
can't freely go buy a gun, Sean. It
That's
in
what I'm.
in here, so you can freely go and buy a gun.
Yes.
We're talking about
Canada,
like
you can't freely go
yeah,
buy a gun. How much robbery go on in Canada when you freely can go buy a gun in Canada?
you can't freely buy a gun in Canada.
Yes, you can.
Nope,
You have
nope,
to
nope,
register it. I
nope,
know the Canadian process. Trust me. You can
nope,
purchase a
nope.
gun, send it in
That
for ballistics.
law changed
Yes.
last month. A certain
Oh, well,
law,
if it changed last month, then
you
Oh, well,
yeah,
can't.
I
then.
don't know about last month. But the crime before last month, never I, because people could have freely go buy gun.
Yeah, and what he saw going on in the US, he said, "No man, we have to address this."
Yes, but when I address it
Yeah.
far, when he never had an issue. Yes, it's a bandwagonist. He's playing. He never had an issue. But because he more
So if I got address it, I did not have the issue.
did not have the issue.
Yeah, but he doesn't want what happened in the US happening in them countries. I'm afraid.
But it nah
But
happen.
it nah happen. So he might tear off the band-aid where I clean the wound. Figure see if the wound can survive without the band-aid. That's what he's doing. He's opening up the wound to fester just to see if it's fresh yet to survive without a band-aid. That's what he's doing.
All right, so Alda, in China, if you're found with a bullet or a firearm, and your family are come pay for the bullet, they will after them kill you. They take it serious. Singapore, those Southeast Asian nation, serious. They don't have a problem.
Yes, but because those people economic develop with their people. Singapore go through a crisis, a civil crisis, and in the midst of that, they developed along with their society. So their people never had the time to sit back and get started in crime. Singapore was stuck in the middle of drug trades between Colombia and the United States to be affected by so much situation that would cause crime. Singapore not located in them position there. They are smack in an advantageous position where industrial development was their best suit. It wasn't crime. But here, your best position to become rich behind the system is crime. In Jamaica, drugs.
Explain Russia. Look how Russia vast and guns legal, and the only time you see Russians come out are when they attack them. And when they go to war. That's the only time.
That may I say? You prove my point. You're proving my point. Gun there every square inch of Russia, and there is no crime. The more a man arm, the less a man will think about, because him not know the skill of that person. Gun not just go so fire and fire, you know. I'm telling you, you have to be skilled with that weapon. You get what I say? 3 man can come attack me, and me sure say 3 of them are go dead if me sure that they're not trained. Because I position myself tactically, and I take out all 3 of them. Because I am fully trained. How you know in a Jamaica say you now go up a soldier against a police officer? He's trained. It's sure now get wiped out. I'm sure you know in whole heap of cases where criminal go up against trained personnel in Jamaica and them get the shock of them life. Them not even shocked. Cause them dead, them can't even shock. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So protecting your sisters by arming them properly, getting them properly trained and properly registered. Registered firearm, when it is fired, you can control crime. But when unregistered weapons do crime, you breed more crime because the crime is not registered. You can't do ballistic to find out where the something come from. You need this to be open to everyone so they're registered. As a man shoot a man, him can't hide him bullet there in his body, so you know who do it. That is how Canada is doing it. In the US, you don't have to send your gun through ballistic. Well, before a month ago, you're stating. In Canada, you had to purchase that gun and send it to the ballistic office. They shoot it, they register you, then fingerprint it, put in our system. So if you use that gun to kill somebody in Canada, they automatically know it's you. That's how you reduce crime. So me I say, we need to come out of this mindset where we are say, oh, think one way like these people. No, we have to think for ourselves because we are the one who get the stick shit in the stick. Obviously, we are the
But
ones
it's
who
a
need to be
regional
more
block,
free.
though. It's a regional block. It's a regional block. So Jamaica is one of it. We have Guyana, Grenada, all these little Antilles.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a crime problem. So that's the Jamaican issue. So we're looking at it as in a regional capacity.
Yes.
All right. So crime is we realize Jamaica problem. Let's say Guyana. Corruption is their problem. They're not walking and stab and murder people, but all of the resources just scream out with one set and then go. And how they think is them just give a dog a bad name, write off the bad name there, nobody do business with him, and then move on. That's how Guyana. I don't know much about Grenada, but Grenada have no crime, zero crime. So the issues are very diverse.
Yes.
Are very diverse. But nobody not spend the money on Grenada. You don't even know Grenada exists more than if a tourism. And that's not sustainable. If a country decides that they're not going to wear like pandemic, I don't have any money for tourism, I suffer. And them just sell little spices and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So regionally, as a unit, as a force, as a block, everybody have them strengths and weaknesses. How can a block go through in changing the legislative framework? Barbados is okay. Cayman is okay. Like human rights index in these countries are so high. And you see the progress. People don't like it, but human rights go with progress. When you look at Qatar, Dubai, Russia, all these countries who have the money, them oil-rich countries, human rights index is low. That is the oligarchs have money. I don't like Luxembourg and Switzerland where everybody rich.
Correct. But them have a socialistic system to which doesn't breed crime because the oligarchs and the prince and all these people cannot control the entire society without having the
Crime
people's
is one
needs
aspect
met.
of Alden. When Jamaica was wealthy, Jamaica had no crime. Crime is one aspect, and crime are the only factor. Jamaica was one of the richest countries on the whole planet.
Copy
We
that.
have piracy. So it's just one aspect. You have what other issues to look at. Grenada not produce doctor, lawyer, engineer. They don't even have a university more than a med school. That's a US-based med school.
Those are resultant of riches in the country. Stable state, Sean. So I am saying all those things are a resultant if we fix the base problem, which is our constitution. This is the first. The economical model that we have states that you first have to have the proper constitution that fits the culture and mindset of the people. The current issue, the American Constitution was framed around their revolution. So the Bill of Rights and all these things started to form around citizen protection against government. So your Second Amendment, right, that's upper top 10 was the right to bear arms because that was the current situation that America realized that was restraining them from propelling forward. What is the current situation that is Jamaica is facing to propel them forward? And they should now know that formulate your constitution around the situations that you're facing that is destroying the improvement of your country in the current situation, not of other persons who are succeeding and flourishing. Because how they have get to that point is that they have looked at the current situation they're facing and framed their constitution to attack that issue. Our issue is crime and brain drain,
I don't.
criminality.
That's unlimited. Jamaica have way more than crime and brain drain.
What we have, Sean,
The long
because
list.
huh?
crime is the one that outrages us because the dead body and the bone up body and that outrageous and it's there. So that's on the top of the list.
Yes, that a
We have
constitution frame number 1.
we have another issue where it's not a good place to do business.
Constitution frame number 2. We get into the problem. We're solving this problem for the situation for the girl.
But if you solve number 1, you minimize number 2.
Yes,
Number
but
2
you want
become
to
more
make.
thing.
Yes,
No,
America always say, never trod upon us again. So you see, when crime gets solved by this constitutional reform, we are going to say, crime shall never happen again. It shall never happen again. So we now only do it for solve. We have to do it for ensure so it's enshrined in our system. When them hear about Jamaica, this is what you're hearing about. Never happen again.
Yep. That is what you hear about for true. Crime and corruption.
You will never hear about this again. When we're done with the Constitution, crime can never happen again.
Because those are what alarms us, it outrages us. I, as a who go into the back, well, again, they're intertwined, but there's so many other issues that are there. Like, I being an educated person, are a member of the middle class. The system is designed so that I'm punished because I'm a middle class. But a poor person, when a poor person come out of the ghetto and then get much CXC, that is what is praised. So them praise and everything that's bad and struggling. But you never hear about, somebody from Matalan or somebody from mid-income. They don't mention those.
Exactly. That is Constitution Reform number 3. Equality across the board. Remove socialism. What do we call it now? You have classism, because you have racism in America. Remove classism from Jamaican structure.
And people think it's good enough.
Huh?
Good enough. Oh, yes, somebody from ghetto win Miss World. Somebody from ghetto can buy a BMW. Are you boss? Coffee come from ghetto, she had biggest singer, she win Grammy.
Yes.
No, it
You know, somebody, I had a batchmate, and when she came here to study, she's from St. Kitts. And when she came here to study, she was taken aback by the high level of classism in Jamaica.
Yes, it is
and
rampant.
And she said to me, I said, explain what you mean. And she said, for example, if I come to you and say, you know, Sean, and then you're going to say, oh, that black boy that we used to go Glenmure, and then his parents, live down the scene at the ghetto, but his parents don't have the money, but him get 8-6. She said, yes, that's exactly it. It's not, Sean, that goes to X, Y, and Z, or works here, or something like that. It's just based on your class. It's just always based on your class. You know? Right.
Yes, it is. These are hard topics. These are hard discussions because the people who are in charge are benefiting from this classism. They're the ones who have years. It's like racism, just spun on its head and fitting our society.
Yeah.
Because these people are now going to make laws against themselves, but it is for the benefit of the development of Jamaica society as an whole, right? It is. Because they feel like if they get removed from the advantageous position that they're in, too much competition will now be alluded to them, and they won't sit in the advantageous seat that they're currently sitting in, because the common boy from Donga Rima, where did bright and get 8 CXC and graduate from University of West. Him too bright come up as now come to the business, because he just gonna lick me out of the water right now. Him too bright. We don't want him here.
Yep.
So you get what I'm saying? So we have to frame the Constitution against that. These are the things we need to address. The answer is staring us in our face in Jamaica because we complain about them every single day. But are we brave enough to get up and say that this is it? Because why we're not, a lot of us is not. It is the get rich syndrome. People in America will not address the billionaires in America who are taking advantage of this tax system, right? Because they themselves, who are working hard, the middle class who can actually do something about it, is aspiring to become those millionaires one day and would be and would like to be privy to those advantages those millionaires are currently privy to.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. The people them where have the 8 CXC and the 10 degree who understand how Jamaican upper class operates and lives in luxury is not willing to protest the system because their aspiration is to one day enjoy the fruits of
Of
that
the labor.
position.
It's an investment.
Yeah.
So we have to talk the thing that must steer in our face every day and to affect we. And we know why we problem, we know what it is, but we don't want to say nothing about it.
I hope she gets something from it. I hope there's something that that can help her here.
That's deep. That's deep. That's deep.
Yeah. I know they can't